The Last Candle, a story of hope. Once upon a time, nestled between the hills of a distant land, was a small village, once cheerful, now silenced by a bitter, never-ending winter. The sky had been grey for weeks. Snow buried the paths, and the wind whispered sadness through every creaking door. In a little wooden cottage at the edge of the village, a young girl named Mira lived with her grandmother. They didn't have much: a few potatoes, a handful of dried herbs, and a small box of candles to keep the darkness away. But one by one, the candles burned out, until only one remained. Mira stared at it one evening as the sun vanished behind heavy clouds. "Should we light it now?" she asked softly. Her grandmother looked out the frosted window, eyes full of quiet wisdom. "Not yet," she said, wrapping a blanket around Mira's shoulders. "Sometimes, the darkest hour comes just before the light. Let's wait a little longer." The next night was colder than ever. Their last log in the fire cracked and gave its final flame. Now, only silence and shadows. Mira sat beside her grandmother, both huddled together beneath a single quilt. The final candle sat on the table, untouched. Suddenly, a gust of wind howled through the cracks in the door. Mira shivered. She looked at the candle again. This time, she reached for a match. Her grandmother didn't stop her. She only nodded and whispered, "Let the light live." With trembling fingers, Mira lit the candle. The flame was small, fragile, but oh, how it danced. It cast a golden glow across the room, lighting up their tired faces and warming their hearts, if only just a little. They sat in silence, watching the flame flicker like a heartbeat. It was more than light. It was hope. Suddenly, there was a sound. Knock, knock, a knock at the door. Mira's eyes widened. "Who could it be at this hour?" she whispered. Her grandmother stood slowly and opened the door. There, standing in the snow, was a traveler, wrapped in a heavy coat, shivering. "I saw the light," he said. "I was lost in the storm, but your candle guided me here." They welcomed him in without hesitation. And as he warmed his hands by the flickering flame, he smiled. "I'm a merchant," he said, pulling off his pack. "I was delivering goods to the next town, but the snow caught me. You saved me." From his bag, he brought out bread, blankets, dried fruits, and a bundle of fresh candles. Mira's eyes filled with tears. That one little flame had saved not just them, but also brought help when they needed it most. Even in your darkest hour, never lose your light. Sometimes, the smallest flame of hope can become a beacon for others. Hope is like a candle. It may seem small, but in the darkest times, it can light the way, not just for you, but for others too. Hold on, shine on. You never know who your light might guide home. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more heartwarming stories every week.